my best festival moment ever was probably, I think it was 2010 maybe. I was playing at Reading Festival in the UK, and we had a great show on the main stage, and I was hanging out, and NoFX were playing, who are one of my favourite bands, and I didn't know any of the guys in NoFX at the time, and they have a song called The Decline, which is a really long song, and they were supposed to have Matt Skiba come up and play guest guitar on that song, and he'd sort of gone AWOL. So through a mutual friend, I got word saying, hey, do you want to play guitar with NoFX? And I was like, yes. And so I went and met all of the guys in the band, and they didn't really know who I was or whatever, but they were like, okay. And they were like, do you know the guitar parts of this song? And I was quite like, I know the guitar parts to all of your songs. But yeah, you know, I knew it. And then I got up and I played guitar with NoFX at a festival, and that was like, you know, 14-year-old me was pissing himself. It was a really fun, and I've gone on, like, they're very good friends of mine now, like we hang out all the time and stuff. They actually cover one of my songs live now, which is amazing. But that was a really special moment for me. My worst festival experience. I mean, I've been to a lot of festivals as a punter as well as playing, and you know, festival toilets might be the worst thing in the whole world. I don't know. I mean, in terms of playing, I once had to fight a hippie on stage in a festival in Cornwall because there was just no security. It was this really DIY punk festival, and they'd forgotten to hire any security. And this guy, I think he must have been on like PCP or something. He was completely fucking crazy, and he came up on stage and started just like fucking with our equipment and stuff. And I pushed him, and then he tried to fight me, and then Nigel, my drummer, like dropped his sticks and jumped over the kit and kind of grabbed him, and it was just all fucked. It wasn't much fun. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm going to answer this by telling you a story. It's quite a long story, but it's a good one. Is that okay? Okay. You get asked that question, you know, what's your festival essential item, quite a lot, right? And one time, a few years ago, I was doing a day of doing like 50 interviews in one day or some shit. And you start kind of like not caring what it's for. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, ask me the questions, I'll answer them, and then we'll get the next person in. So I was sat in front of a camera like this, and this guy came in, and it was like, okay, the question is, what's your festival essential item? And I said, well, there's this stuff you can get from health food shops in England called 5-HTP, and it's a natural serotonin booster. It's a pill that you take. So if you're doing the kind of things that might make your serotonin go down, then you take a couple of those and you don't get the sads in the morning, and then you can do more and you can have a good time and kind of basically talking about taking drugs. And I explained this whole story, and then only afterwards did anyone explain to me that it was for a children's TV show called Rasta Mouse, right? And they fucking broadcast it as well. So on the finished thing, they've got all these bands kind of going, bring wellies, you know, make sure you bring some loo roll, and all this shit. And I'm like, right, you need this shit, it's going to sort you out when you want to come down. I just looked like a fucking awful drug dealer, basically, because no one fucking told me it was for children. But that is my festival tip. I'd have to go quite far back because I've been going to festivals for a long time. For years, when I'm not playing, when I was just a kid, I used just going to festivals. I used to go down on Friday, and I wouldn't have a tent. I wouldn't even have a jacket sometimes, and then just eat a bunch of stuff that means you don't sleep for a few days, and then you go home again when you need to sleep. And that was kind of a good way of doing a festival. But I don't know. I don't believe in that whole idea of going back and giving yourself advice. Finding out's the fun part, you know. I guess there are some bands that played at festivals that I was at that I didn't see because I didn't know who they were, and I would go back in time and go, go and see that fucking band, you idiot. But it took me years to get into the National. They're now one of my favourite bands, but I've been at festivals they've been playing like so many times and not gone to see them, and I'm an idiot. If you're an artist at a festival, it's much more comfortable. One year I did, in the early years, I did 27 festivals in the UK in one summer, and I camped at every single one. And since then, I've vowed I will never camp at a festival ever again. Fuck that. And I don't, I've got a tour bus today like this one, and there's a sort of VIP bar, and you get a dressing room, and there's a shower, and you get looked after. It's pretty good. I have to say, German festivals are the best for that as well. You get treated really good at German festivals. Some of the other, I'm not going to say where, but some other countries have slightly less good standards of looking after bands. Properly enjoying a festival experience is about chaos. you know, and you should kind of find yourself wandering around with a bunch of people you've never met at 3 o'clock in the morning, going to see some dance DJ you've never heard of, and then some guy in a giant bunny suit tries to sell you drugs. And it's like, that's what a festival's about, you know. And you should spend your time hiding in the backstage bar with all the other kind of beautiful people or whatever. That's boring. That's a waste of time. It's way more fun, you know. Almost half the fun is wandering around the campsite at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. So festivals should be about chaos.